Hello all, now we're going to be looking at challenge number 27. So in challenge number 27, it's a web-based challenge again. We've asked you to execute the operating system code and read the file ctrophy.txt. Hopefully by now we've done enough challenges on Oracle to understand Oracle database, the privilege execution model, the privilege escalation attacks, and also ways to execute OS code. So this is a very similar SQL challenge to challenge number 19 and 20, which we did earlier. If we inject a single quote into it, you will find that it is returning an Oracle database error message. So we can use the error message to return data back to us. So if you look at the solution we've provided you, we will run a query on the database host to return our current username. And what I want you to focus on here is the fact that we are DBA, and perhaps we can use one of those challenges which we did earlier to execute OS code against the database host. Okay, I don't know what is wrong with MS Word. Challenge number 27. Okay, so here is the solution page. Like I said, the Oracle database was returning database error message. So we can run this query here to find out the output of the query, select user from dual in the error message. So what we've done is Smith single quote, and this particular query is null. So if we just copy this, then we could to inject Smith, and all of this is null hyphen. Okay, and you can see here it has given you a message saying this sys does not exist. So the output of the query select user from dual is sys. So clearly sys is the highest role in the Oracle database, or sys is the user which has got all the privileges. It has also got the DBA role. So we can now use its privileges to execute code. If you remember, in the previous challenge we executed operating system code as DBA user by running these 5 commands. Now the trouble with doing it in an SQL statement or web application is this was a PL/SQL block. It had a begin statement, it had an end statement, and in a PL/SQL block you can have multiple statements separated by semicolon. So you can see here, this is the first statement, it ended with semicolon, and then the second statement, dbms scheduler.create job, was started. So we were able to batch these 5 statements in as a one particular script or one particular anonymous PL/SQL block by wrapping it in begin and end. And we can do this because this was a PL/SQL statement. Now when it comes to SQL statement in Oracle, it is a very limited language, and it does not support execution of multiple statements. So what you need to, in order to be able to run multiple statements like these, we need to essentially use a small trick. And if you look at the solution sheet, we've called a function called sys.kupp$proc.create master process. Now this function is only available to DBA users, and as we are already DBA, we can use this function, and in this function we can now batch multiple statements, because this function basically allows execution of a PL/SQL block. So as an argument to this function, we first issue the first statement over here, which is the same one which we used earlier when doing it over web. The first line here, create program, my program 11. And then the second program is create job over here, which we did again through the database client. Then again sleep for 1 second, and then drop the program and clean the logs. So hopefully with just this one query, what we will do is the program is going to copy ctrophy.txt again in the document root with our username over here. So all we need to do is execute this function, this massive URL, and that should mean that we should now be able to copy all of them. We should now be able to copy that file ctrophy.txt as our username. So I'm just going to change this user X again to say user1_1, because user1 was already created in my previous challenge. So this is over web. So if I copy this and execute this in a browser, then you will find it has not returned any errors. And now if I go to port 8085/docs/user1_1.txt, then you can see that this has also been executed, and this is the trophy.txt file this time. which I have copied in the document root, and I managed to read it. And the beauty about this challenge is, if you would have noticed, this is basically just one URL which we sent to the database system and which executed the operating system code. So very similar to that XP_CMD shell through which you execute code in the MS SQL database system. And the idea of putting this as a 27 challenge was hopefully that the challenges leading up to this serves as a nice base for you to grasp everything about Oracle, the privilege execution model, how do you escalate permissions, how do you execute code, how do you overcome the handicap of executing a PL SQL block in an SQL statement, that is by calling a function like these, which allows you to run a PL SQL block inside an SQL statement. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed this 27 challenges in SQLi Lab. We will soon be making new challenges, so stay tuned, and if you have any questions, drop us a line, or you've got access to the support forum, ping us there and we'll be happy to help. Thank you very much.